hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I know I did. No. It was filled with booze, steak, ham, and arguing with friends and family about politics. And that right there, my friends, is what the holidays are all about. Long gone are the days of Americana. I remember a time when the holidays were about gratitude, baby Jesus, family, tradition. It was about passing on culture to the next generation. But the wokest cults, led by the liberal uniparty, have slowly pulled Americans away from the beauty of Americana by chastising us because American culture is either racist, non-inclusive, homophobic, or promotes the patriarchy. I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. Now, that's a quote that I have been running through my mind the last 3 weeks. The great Thomas Jefferson is the man who stated that quote. And the reason I have been pondering that quote is because it is a statement that still holds true to this day. The attack on our American culture and tradition has been overwhelming and ongoing. And the holidays bring it all back to the forefront of the issues that we face going into the new year. From the progressive left to the conservative right and the libertarian fence-sitters, we should all be concerned about the uniparty agenda. The attack on the First Amendment should shake everyone from all sides of the spectrum. The anticlimactic release and ongoing drops of the Twitter files are evidence that our government has been employing private companies to censor speech and information. The government should never step in and offer private companies payments to silence individuals or news organizations for political gain. That is fascism in its purest form. The marriage of corporation and state. It doesn't matter how hateful, hurtful, or dangerous you think the speech is. The government should never step in and collude with organizations like social media to censor speech. Because when you go down that road, it comes down to who gets to make the rules on what is hateful, hurtful, and dangerous speech. This is why our founding fathers wrote what they did, because they knew that free speech is the cornerstone of a free society. What they also knew is that in order to keep the rule of law in place and keep the tyranny of a governmental power from spreading, a well-armed community is necessary. If a government or state is overstepping their boundaries and not abiding by American rule of law, which is the Constitution, we can rise up as citizens and check that tyrannical government and be able to match their military with our militias. And that power possessed by the American citizen has been slowly eroded. It has been eroded by fears of mass shootings, school shootings, violent crimes, and political violence. With the help of the mainstream media and the woke cult, the uniparty has used those terrible events to slowly take away our rights. No, I'm not trying to minimize those horrific events. They should serve as a constant reminder of the evil that humans are capable of. But our government should not use them as an excuse to curtail rights. Those events should be an awakening for Americans about how far we have drifted away from our moral foundation. We should not be trying to fix the problem by taking away rights. And to be completely honest with you here, I don't think there is a one-size-fits-all solution to fix the problems of mental health and speech that leads to violence. I think those problems are just part of the terrain we have to walk on to keep the American dream going. And it brings me back to the quote by Thomas Jefferson. I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. Freedom comes with a cost, and the cost that American citizens are currently facing is a First Amendment that leads to violence and a Second Amendment that leads to death and pain. It is a hard truth, but it is a truth that we need to understand, and it is a truth that as Americans we need to accept, because the Constitution is the only thing that keeps the powers that be from turning America into a communist shithole like China and Russia. We are a constitutional republic. The Constitution is what holds us together, and the Constitution is what makes these great states work. And it is American culture that keeps our faith within the Constitution alive. So going into this year, we are now at a fork in the road. We can either go left or we can go right. The left turn leads to the erosion of the first two amendments and the precipitous fall into a governmental abyss. And depending on where we land, we will end up in fascism, communism, or a digital democracy. And if you don't know what a digital democracy is, go play Civ. Civilization 6. You'll find out. And the right turn is a treacherous hill full of adversity and pain, but that hill leads to freedom. And I don't know about you guys, but I would rather go up that hill and face hardship for the rest of my life than live comfortably numb within the warm tits of the government. Just saying.